Medium Cool was released in 1969. This is written and directed by Haskell Wexler, and we have a cast including Robert Forster, Verna Bloom, Peter Boyle. It's because of Peter Boyle that I became aware of this. I'd never heard of it, and I probably wouldn't have watched it if I had discovered it randomly. And honestly, I don't think it's an entertaining film. It might be significant, but that doesn't automatically mean it's an entertaining experience. This is about the events surrounding the 1968 Democratic National Convention and a lot of problems at the time, and honestly, it is so boring. The style of storytelling is not engaging. The events that unfold might be historically significant, but they're tremendously dull. It actually focuses on a character called John, and he is a news reporter, and obviously is reporting on various things that are happening, and there are obstacles to overcome and a lot of problems, and it's looking, of course, at the role of media in capturing this and also in portraying it. And I'm not saying that it's not important as a topic, but I'd say it would be much better to read an article or watch an actual documentary, because as a story, and it's a work of fiction based on truth, as a story, it's not engaging, it's not entertaining, it's not well thought out, the structure is not great. I found it to be a really boring experience. I don't think that it was interesting in the slightest. Obviously, at the time, it may well have been. People were living it, people were experiencing it. That may well be the case, but I don't think now it's entertaining or engaging, and I don't think it's that informative either, because it's, well, for me at least, it may be a different experience for other people, but because I didn't find it engaging, I wasn't really absorbing everything that was happening because I found it really boring and difficult to focus on, and that means that I'm not learning as much as I could have done because it's not entertaining. So I don't think they did a good job of telling this story. It may be significant, but it's not entertaining, and if something isn't entertaining, it significantly drops in value when you're creating a drama. And the performances are fine, the camera work's fine, the editing's not brilliant, but it's not terrible. But I don't like the narrative structure, and I just found it to be so dull. It could have been really significant. And apparently, according to Wikipedia, and I haven't fact-checked this, but it says, in 2003, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being, quote, culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, end quote. And I don't see it. I can't imagine this is the only representation of that time period. I mean, it might well be, but I don't think it's very entertaining, and I don't think it's informative. And for somebody like me, who knows very little about this, I went into it looking forward to the education, hoping like I would feel like I was there to try and at least get some sense of what it felt like. And because it's so dull, it's really difficult to feel engaged with it. I think it's a really poor film. And that being said, it has 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb across 5,000 reviews and ratings and a Metascore of 87. I'd love to know how many of those people reviewing it are people who either watched it at the time or have memories of this time period. I can't imagine, and I could be really wrong, but I can't imagine there'd be many people my age, maybe a little older, who wasn't around at that time. I was born 1992, who watched this maybe for the education, to get a better understanding. I can't imagine many people in a similar category as me would find this to be an entertaining, engaging, educational, fascinating film, because it is so boring. The story might be important, but the storytelling is poorly done. And unfortunately, I don't think it's a good film. Medium Cool seems to have some positive reviews, so if you're curious, check it out. But I'd be willing to bet that most positive reviews, and I could be wrong, and there will be exceptions, of course there'll be exceptions, but I imagine most of those positive reviews are from people who remember the time period or who know it well. I can't imagine there'd be many positive reviews from people like me who go in looking for the education, looking to get a better understanding, looking to be transported back in time to a time period they know nothing about. And it doesn't work very well because it's not engaging. And if you can't engage the viewer, you can't educate or enlighten the viewer. So it's not a good film. It might be addressing something significant, but it doesn't do it in a way that's very well executed.